Hey guys, so it's Elaine Grundy, and I wanted to cover a topic quickly that is often asked, especially as we do a lot of guided meditations. So sometimes when we do the guided meditations, particularly in the container, there's lots of feedback, and people will tell some pretty fantastical stories or experiences, or they'll have kind of big aha moments. And then often for those who aren't getting that, they have a bit of a question. So I got an email recently I thought I would quickly jump onto and give some feedback to. So this person says, I sometimes feel left behind. I hear all these other stories and feelings, and I'm like, meh, okay, nothing big has happened for me. I'm guessing for me, maybe I'm not conscious about the feelings or events that will give me the aha. Now, I think it's really important to understand that the whole point of guided meditations or visualizations is simply a tool. It's not the actual thing, right? So what we're trying to do with all meditations is to raise our vibrational frequency, and the whole goal, or the ultimate goal of meditation, is to drop all of our beliefs and our structures around who we are. So ultimately, the whole purpose of meditation is to see our true nature. And our true nature is beyond or below or behind all of our thoughts. And that includes our imagination. So the example I'd like to give you is that moment where you sit and watch a sunset. Now that sunset evokes a certain experience or feeling within us of awe, expansion, timelessness, like it's that wow. And that wow, before you have all the thinking about the sunset, like, ooh, isn't that lovely? And ooh, let me take a photo and Instagram it and all these other things. That moment of awe is our true nature. And so all we're doing when we do guided visualizations in meditations, like I might say, imagine a sunset. And as you imagine that sunset, it evokes the same vibrational frequency or the same vibrational sensation of awe, expansiveness, openness, connectedness. So that's all we're doing. So the imagination is simply a tool. So if you drop the imagination, like for those of you when you're listening to guided meditations, if you're not following them in particular, or if you find it difficult to imagine what the person is guiding you towards imagining, that doesn't mean you're doing it wrong. It doesn't mean you're being left behind. It doesn't mean you're not getting what you need out of that session. Because ultimately, the only thing that you need is the willingness to sit and engage. So you'll also notice in guided meditations, there's always a link. So I'm not just saying imagine a sunset. I'm saying imagine a sunset. It makes you feel like this, right? It makes you feel more open. You feel more content. You feel more connected. So the whole purpose of the guidance is to also guide you towards that vibration we're trying to evoke within our own system. So I could drop the visualization and just say, feel open. But it's easier for most of us, particularly if we're visual, and the majority of us are visual learners. When I say imagine a sunset, you can be taken back, you can be transported back to that moment where you have seen an actual sunset. It triggers all this stuff in your subconscious mind, in your imaginative right brain mind, and it literally connects you and opens you with the same emotions. So it's all a technique. It's what hypnotherapy is based on, and it's what a lot of these other visualization based or imagination based therapies, the foundation of it is that our ability to bring up memories or our ability to evoke through our imagination creates real-time experiences and feelings in the now. So, I mean, you could do it positively or negatively, right? And often we do it negatively. We'll imagine things, awful things that might happen to us in the future, or we'll bring up traumatic memories from the past and we'll re-experience all of these negative emotions again. So the guided meditations are simply to kind of flick the balance a little bit and to help you see that actually by focusing your attention on other memories or other future thoughts, or like law of attraction is all based on this, right? By activating our imagination in this way, we can actually evoke much more positive feelings. And it's this training that we're doing through the guided visualizations. And hopefully, eventually, you want to get past that. So you want to get past all of that so that you get to the stage where you're simply able to evoke whatever emotional state that you want to evoke. And also realizing that these are also just transient states. So we go into meditation, open, the kind of love, compassion, things like that. It's to see that it's always there. It's always there for us. And it's where our attention is. Like if our attention is thinking about something terrible that's going to happen, or worrying about something, or bringing up the past, then obviously we're going to forget that we can vibrate at a very high level of love, compassion, openness, and expansiveness. So coming, once a week or daily or whatever your practice is, into this space of expanding through guided meditation is simply practice. Now, so if you're one of these people like the email that is feeling, oh, I'm being left behind because I'm not seeing these visualizations, or I'm not getting these aha moments during the actual meditation, that's not the point of them. So the point of them is really to train your system into being more comfortable and more readily available for this ability to feel into your true nature being an expanded, compassionate, loving energy. And that's the only point of guided meditation, is to keep bringing you back to this point. Now, if you do have other aha moments, and if you're quite a visual learner and you're able to see it all, of course, it makes it more fun, it makes it more interesting, you're probably more engaged with it than if you're someone who maybe doesn't have such a skill around your imagination. Now, just because you don't have that, it doesn't mean, one, you can't build it over time, and two, it certainly doesn't mean you're behind. There is no behind. So the critical thing is, when you do these guided meditations, do you feel more open, more expanded, more connected, more loving, more compassionate? That's the only reason we do it. And if so, you finish all that, and maybe you haven't really heard much about what I'm saying or what another teacher is guiding you to do, but you finish that half an hour or 20 minutes and you just feel more centered. That is the whole point. The role of your imagination is to evoke the support of the universe, to evoke the love of the universe, of which you are that. You are that. So bringing in the imagination is helpful in the beginning until you realize that. But ultimately, it is not the end goal. And the end goal is that you drop all of this stuff, because you are simply love. You are simply support. You are no different from Archangel Michael. You're no different from all the guides that you conjure up. You're no different from the light coming through your crown, or the galaxy travel, or, that is all part of who you are. And it's a really important distinction to make, so that you don't fall into the trap and essentially delay your growth. Because if you keep hanging on to the fact that your imagination is real, then you will delay your growth. Equally, if you hang on to the thought that I need to have that imaginative aha moments and see everything really clearly before I feel like I've I'm keeping up, then that's also delaying your development, because essentially you are developing exactly in whatever area you need to be developing in. And the fact that you're drawn to do these meditations means they're helpful for you in this moment, but don't cling on to them, because they're not ultimately the end goal. Ultimately, the end goal is for you to see that you are always in meditation, you are always whole, you are always supported, loved, and you are also the support and the love. So I hope that little rant helps. May have thrown up more questions than answers, but just something for you to think about.